guided meditations cannot free you, really. And if you're using guided meditations, I'm not saying don't use guided meditations. Can be great, but they are like training wheels. These kind of things, the devices kids have in the bikes to learn to stay there. So should a kid use it? Well, as far as you need it, yes. But after a while, you're gonna need a bit more of understanding, a bit more freedom to go deeper, to enjoy deeper. So that's the point where, after a while, the guided meditations can not, by definition, at some point they get you so far, at some point they just stop there. They're like generic painkillers. You will take, yeah, they can create a great relief and then can be in general positive, especially for your experience of the process. But generic painkillers are not curing you, are not curing your illness. So in this channel, I'm making big promises, right? I'm talking about consistent, continuous satisfaction and fulfillment and peace. So profound that nothing in this world can change that. But in order to get there, I also have to be very clear. When I mean meditation, I'm just talking some generic stuff. And that's certainly the starting point. So again, I'm not ranting on guided meditations. But I think it's very important in a world where everybody just listen to an app. Yeah, I do meditate and I listen to this app. Yeah, that's fantastic. But I'm just saying at some point, you're going to need a bit more. For many people, when they tell me about this transition, some of them did on their own, and they really enjoy their guided meditation, but at some point, they just stop using them. Why did you stop using the guided meditation? And they would say, well, at some point, I just felt that I just wanted to rest. I just wanted to contact this silence. And even the guided meditation at some point became a problem because it's a structured script, one size fits all. Like it cannot fit every moment for every person. You see, so by design, guided meditation can only work sometimes for some people. So it's great. It's something to celebrate. It's something to use if you feel there's a difference. If it works, use it. What I'm saying is that at some point, you're going to start needing more. You're going to start realizing that if you want to get out of the actual sense of being trapped in a reality you didn't want it to live, you find yourself in survival mode. You find always chasing a dream. You find always running away for certain things. And it feels like a nightmare. You just cannot control the universe and your life. You feel sometimes really powerless. You find that situation, then yeah, guided meditation will help you smooth the whole situation and help you calm and find a more clearer point of view. And yet, it's not going to be deep enough for actually liberating your conditioning that's really underlying all that. So imagine that you're lost in the woods and everybody's lost in a different place of the woods. So everybody's in a sort of a map, imagine a map, and everybody's in a different position. So there are some generic instructions like, if you hear the wolves coming, there's a cave in here, go into that cave. So that will keep you safe for the night. That's a fantastic tip. But that's not setting you free. You want to go where the light is. You want to get out of this wood that is apparently keep you trapped in suffering and in negative emotions. In order to do that, you need a bit more of a precise, moment by moment tool, that like a compass that will change as you move, that will help you actually guide. You cannot just have a compass that is set in one direction all the way, right? So in the same way, what real meditation looks like is you go through a process of learning meditations that may actually look like following some structure of guided meditations, but this is just the initial starting point. What a good system of meditation should give you is very clear references for you to react moment by moment to understand, okay, this is a day where you're more distracted. You may need to do certain kind of strategies to find this foundation so you can go deeper in your meditation. And sometimes you may find yourself that you are restless. Sometimes you find yourself that you're kind of sleepy. Sometimes you will find there's so many emotional disruption that could happen in different days, different meditations, right? So what a real system of meditation gives you is the capacity to adjust on real time for you. And over time, you build your own meditation system. based on the meditation systems that other people build for themselves through history, I find it's pretty much, well, it's not the smartest way to go to ignore this technology, meditation technology, the traditions and the sages having developed. So what you want is to learn, find good sources to learn about what are the mechanics, not just do that. No, what are the mechanics, why that works. You want to understand when to use one meditation, when to use another kind of meditation, when to be more just resting, and when to be very precise in your observation. So you may even need to try to pierce through. Or when it's okay to indulge yourself in this blissful state of love or many different experiences. What is the right thing to do? Well, it's different for everyone in different moments. That's the point that I'm trying to make all the time. And hopefully it makes sense to you and you understand why a generic structure can take you just so far. What you really need is an ecosystem of feedback that you could use to orientate yourself moment by moment. And that's how you, every day, every time you sit to meditate, you just hit it. I'm saying picking in meditation, like hopefully you already had some meditations where you suddenly felt like, okay, this is really working. And then you lost it. That's really okay. That's really normal in the process. What I'm saying, like when you really understand what you're doing, you have to be picking every time. That's mastery of meditation. Can you imagine what is to pick every time? I'm talking about the capacity. If you tell this to your neighbor or anyone, that someone has the capacity to sit for a few moments and go beyond all the problems in this world and find real peace. A fulfillment so incredibly profound and existential that the problems of the world seem to be just a second ripple. It seems to be just something that is just happening. Of course, you deal with it, but you will be so happy just by being alive, just by touching and being in contact with your deeper sense of what you really are, that you will feel that there is nothing in this world. There's no riches. There is no apparent abundance. There is nothing anyone can do or to take it away from you or to give to you that because you're already sitting in there. You already have everything you want. And then you can live a life of freedom from where you're actually acting out of love, out of overflowing with contentment and peace. And then your actions are not like trading to get more money, to get things. I do this, but you do that. No, it's not. It's all the time a giving. In some way, your vase is always filled. You give and it fills. You give and it fills. And that's when everything starts being real fun. But I haven't met even one single person that they hadn't had to go through sort of like a meditation system, some kind of spiritual technology to find themselves continuously there. For most people, it just won't happen. If you give yourself go random in your life without any orientation, without any conscious decision about what is the quality you want to be living from, you will end up, you know where you're going to be ending. The same place where you are, or maybe even worse, maybe even deeper in suffering. So you can decide to be free right now. And my point is, compared to many other people who makes videos in here, that you actually have to sit to meditate. And I'm not saying you have to use the methodology that I'm telling you to use, or you have to come through me to get to this. No, I'm trying to help you to understand that you want to be independent and fully free. You have to learn to be your own teacher. And to be able to be your own teacher, you need to understand what is the language of your mind. You need to really study your mind. And that's what these meditation practices give you the understanding of what's happening so you can balance it out and understand how to stay there all the time to eventually at some point live your life from that balance. Wake up every morning just wanted to share, looking forward to the day filled with joy as if you were a kid on Christmas. And when you go to sleep, you can really let go of everything because you're so fulfilled that you won't mind if that was the wave goodbye to the world. You're so deeply in peace that you can go to sleep as if it was the last time because you're satisfied, because you're fine, because you live your life fully, and that makes you feel complete. And that, my friend, that's not something random. That's not something generic. So practice, practice, practice.
If you're serious about truly understanding meditation, not just the surface level mindfulness hype, but the deep, time tested methods of the sages, I have a free course with real practical guidance waiting for you. And if you struggle to stay consistent with your meditation practice, join our free community for accountability, live online meditation sessions, and discussion circles that will keep you supported every step of the way. You'll find the link to join in the description or the comments below, so you will never have to do this alone. See you there.